Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I've been out in the garden for a while. And guess what I've been doing? I've been bringing the tomato season to an end. And to do that, chopping off as many of the leaves as I can. Plan is, oh, I just stepped on a tomato I chopped off, is to get all of this open to the little bit of sun we're getting next week. I think sun gold has to come to an end as well, because we've been having it there for quite a while. So now I have to start thinking in terms of what I'm going to put in its place. I like the draping of it, and I've enjoyed having it there by the doorway. It's given character to the entryway. But as you can see, these have been topped. Leaves have been taken off as much as I can while still maintaining, hold on 2 seconds, you see this here? This is going as well. There we go. So we don't want any new growth. We just want the plants to focus on completing the ripening. They do have a slight blush, most of these tomatoes do. So hopefully what will happen is, with sun exposure next week, we will start to see more ripening from them, and we'll be able to sort out the pots once we've harvested all those tomatoes. Hopefully light will not get us. Right now it's extremely windy. I've got a whole lot of plums here that I'm hoping will ripen, but we just have to hope. Over here, this one, what is this tomato plant? It's the money maker. Is ripening beautifully. A whole lot of tomatoes. It's produced excellent. The Alicante has been my favorite this year. It's had very, very delicious fruit. And then we've also got the chili plants here, which I am going to harvest, and because I can't do anything else with them, I'm going to buy a bottle of olive oil, and then I'm just going to drop them in there, all of them. Well, I'll take some to work. Some people do like them. Even the peppers that I ignore, I just look at, are doing well. This plant over here is starting to ripen. I topped it a while back, and now it is just focused on ripening. The fruit is already got. So we got quite a bit. Some of the strawberries are dying back, but my everbearing is still growing. And interestingly enough, this is the first time this plant has actually provided me with runners. So I had assumed that it doesn't produce runners because I never saw a single runner. But today I came out to find 2 runners, because this produces nice strawberries. It produces strawberries until the season ends. And I mean, when winter really sets in, that's when it dies. So for me, that's a brilliant win-win for a strawberry plant, and therefore I do want it. Right. I've shown you this, isn't it? It's so nice. It's so beautiful. I mean, if they get ripened, even the sun gold, I've actually taken off the top, because really and truly, babies, we are done. The season is done. So I'm taking off all flowers and talking to them and trying to encourage them to do what they need to do, which is this aubergine has not done well, but I'm going to take it out. I feel like I almost need, I don't know, what's it called? A large compost bin, so that I can layer this with some of the soil from some of the pots, like this one here, so it can break down a lot more quickly. But I don't know whether I want to go out today, because I know what kind of bin I would get. I get a proper dustbin type thing, make holes in it, and then I would use it as my layering bin. And now that I've said it, obviously, as I've told you before, my fascination with making soil means that I'm probably going to go and find myself one such bin and get it sorted for the home. So Stella speaks, Stella does. It's interesting, I don't like plum tomatoes. When probably they're getting blight a little bit, that's probably why, but they seem to, their stems seem to disintegrate really quickly before you actually get the fruit ripened. So I am not impressed. This whole tomato plant has barely anything left in it, so I think this one can come out today. And if I'm doing this much, Stella is going to end up purchasing a bin and starting a soil factory to make soil for throughout the winter, ready for the next growing season. Look at where this one is. Now, how do you think you're going to ripen when you're down there, eh? You need to come out from there. Okay, those guys are not your friend. There you go, like that. You see what I mean about the plum? It's not my favorite type of tomato plant, and it's also not as flavorful as other tomato plants. But because they were volunteers, I just let them be, gave them a chance. This one, oh, what are you? Are you a sun gold or what? This one is doing fine. What I do is I just cut the edges off like that, and I do it close to where I still provide support for the, let's top you, for the plants. So I'm topping everything today. It's funny, normally I'm not very good with topping plants, but now that I've actually decided that everything has to go, it's easy. A decision has been made, and I am a master of what I survey, aren't I? So now we have to end the growing season. I'll be picking all these up, and I'll be composting, and I'm sure that the compost will end up with loads of volunteers. You see here, it's still flowering, so we need to end the flowering season and focus on growing what we already have growing. Okay, so you need to come off. I haven't actually used the celery, so I might do it today because it looks lovely, absolutely lovely. I mean, look at this, it's grown so beautifully. This is my first year growing celery, and look, beautiful stems. So I can pull out one like this, absolutely lovely. And the guinea pigs will have to be sent some because they do like it. Right, let's get up here. This can go because it's doing nothing. You see that? It can go. Oopsie. Let's pick it out from there. Hold on. Okay, so I've chopped up all my tomato bits, and I think it is time I sat down with a planner and started to plan what I'm doing, because there's a lot to do. I've just realized, yes, I'm going to go buy the bin, but in addition to that, I have to repair my gate because the bottom nut keeps coming out because it's lost its it's a screw-on nut. The bolt is gone. I'm taking out these strawberries, reason being they don't spark joy. They fruit the once and then that is it. They don't fruit again. So I'm going to eliminate them in the winter. Once this dies back, raspberries are going from the home garden because we do not eat them. And I got loads of raspberries at the allotment. So what I'll be doing is I'll be looking to see whether or not anyone is interested in coming to take them. And if they are, they'll have to come with something, because I'm keeping my large pots and I'll use them for something else. Over here, this needs to go. It's only produced a few aubergines. It hasn't done well, but I want to empty out most of these pots, or what I will do is I'll empty them out, layer them up and sit them back on their containers, but without any water in the bottom container. When you do that, it keeps them dry enough that over the winter they'll break down. That's what happened in these pots over here. Despite the fact that I grew more than one type of tomato in them, when it came to prepping the garden for the new year, these had absolutely gorgeous soil. A little bit like this soil in here. So this soil in here is absolutely lovely, crumbly, but it's because over the winter it just sat, and I had layered stuff in it and they just broke down. As you can see, I just throw bits and pieces in. So that's what I'm going to do for all the pots in the end, as I pull out, chop up and relayer the containers in order that we can actually, I wonder if these are meant to be green peppers. I've got so many in there, but none of them are ripening. So many. These I have to harvest. I'll look up recipes for making a chili relish or something like that, so my parents can have that. The carrots need to come out. The mint needs to be chopped right back because it's overgrowing. The basil needs to be chopped right back. I've not used it once. I've just enjoyed the prettiness of it. So, and it smells lovely. So that's nice. What else? The beans need to come out. I've got some pods here that have actually formed real pods. Oh, stepping on some. I'm going to leave these in to form pods as well, and then I'll use them next year in all the pots in order to increase the nitrogen levels. This strawberry plant is prolific in its reproduction. However, it's useless in its production of fruit, so it will be going. And I'm not actually going to use any of those runners that are all currently just growing all over the place. I've got a cucumber in here that I'm going to have with my lunch, and then I've got another one here, also lovely. I think I need to refill all my reservoirs today as well, so I'll do that this afternoon. That's a job in itself. We're looking at about half an hour to an hour to refill the reservoirs, and then we'll be done. But at least we're trying. I'm done. Here I've got a pot that I layered a while back, and as you can see, it's trying to grow weeds because I didn't cover it. So what I need to do is I'll put cardboard on top in order that we can mulch it and hide everything, and maybe a black plastic over the top, so that over the winter it will just sit. There's holes in the bottom so worms can get in and break it down, ready for the next growing season. Really. Okay, holes are made in my new compost bin, which I just went and bought from Home Base. I've made some holes in the bottom, along the sides, to make sure there is no water logging, and then to allow air circulation I've put holes all round, spaced out a little bit, but still I've got holes. And this time around I've also got a cover. So now I'm going to shred all the cardboard and paper I have so I can actually add it to here before taking it outside. We are getting there. Outside is quite windy, which is why I'm working indoors. Okay, so we're outside again. It's quite windy, so if the noise is too much, I do apologize, but I've managed to shred some paper. I need to wet it to make sure that it's damp, because it's not going to get any rain on it once this is closed off. So what I normally do is I soak the paper, and then I add the, what's it called, the other stuff I'm going to add to it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upend this into there. But ideally, because this is bedding for the worms, I'll take some of it out because it encourages the worms to come in, because there's nice bedding. And then what I'll do is I'll start to put this in, and then I'll find soil like in there, which is just sitting there, and put it in here with layers of the green to make soil. I thought I was done with the garden for now, but I have someone who's going to swap me some aubergines for some chilies. So, and I've just tried them. They've got a lovely flavor, the Trinidad perfumes do. They're not hot initially. The heat that you feel is only sudden and instant and extremely temporary. So I don't know whether it's because they haven't grown true to form, but they have a hint of what is a bit like a Scotch bonnet flavor, but without that excess heat. So I think I like them. So I've just got some different type of aubergine to try. One of the ladies in the village asked me about aubergines because she saw me growing aubergines, and I explained to her how I grow them. So this year she decided to give it a go, and she was very successful. So she's brought me some, and in return I've given her some Trinidad perfume, green pepper, red pepper, some tomatoes, and some celery. So it's a little mini thank you. I think I love it because the other day my brother-in-law visited, and I sent him home with some freshly harvested tomatoes and other bits and pieces from the garden, including French beans. So for me that is like nice. Ooh, I can see one of my tomato plants is really falling. I need to sort it out. Let me go do that.